we have accomplished our fully funded 3 to 6 months of expenses emergency fund. So we might do a video here in the next week or two where we actually talk about that in a little more detail.
Trying to find another way to say this, but I think we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, we were meant to be.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be talking about our fully funded emergency fund. We really just wanna be able to share with you, and hopefully someone that might be trying to do something a little bit different with their finances, they would be able to do that as well. So what we'll talk about here real quick is the difference between what an emergency fund is and a fully funded emergency fund. The emergency fund is to cover some basic emergencies that come up while you are getting out of debt.
Basic emergencies include car accidents, okay, something happens with your car, anything like that, medical emergencies, all right, so say Serenity or Phil went to the hospital, covers that, and any like last minute accident, did not plan on this happening type of deal. That's a regular emergency fund.
It was after we paid off our debt that we started shifting into doing what we're calling a fully funded emergency fund at this point versus having a savings account.
And if you haven't checked out our debt-free video, you can check it out up here.
So at this point, we do have our debt paid off, and if you take a look at Dave Ramsey and his roadmap, the next thing was having a fully funded emergency fund.
Because a fully funded emergency fund should be about 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, okay? Not necessarily your whole income for 3 to 6 months, but 3 to 6 months worth of expenses, okay? And these expenses do not include things like Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus and your cable bill, okay? They include things like how much do you spend on groceries, how much do you spend on gas per month, what are your utilities, covering the rent check. Those necessities are your expenses. Everything else is just extra. Truth be told, we don't have a lot of extra. We really don't. If we had to cut out extra, we could feasibly cut out Disney Plus, and we could cut out the internet if we really wanted to. It's a little difficult to cut out the internet, especially when you do YouTube videos, and I have work-related things to do. But we also have LTE and 4G on our phones and data and things like that we never fully use all the time anyway. So it's something we could live without. We don't have a lot of other extras because that's just not our way. Now, some people out there, you may be watching this video and you're like, well, what about my gym membership? The gym membership is extra, okay? You can run outside for a mile and get the same amount of exercise that you do being at the gym for 30 minutes. That's extra. So learn the difference between a necessity, what you have to have in order to survive, and extra, what you like to have to help you survive a little easier.
Truth be told, our emergency fund is set a little bit higher than what it would have to be if we went based off of the expenses. I like the fact that we have some flexible room with our emergency funds.
Because you don't know what could happen. You could have a month where we have to dip in this emergency fund, say, and your rent suddenly goes up. You could have a month where your utilities are higher than normal. It doesn't really matter, so we have that extra buffer zone to work with.
What's nice is that if she loses her income, her job, we still have my job to feed off of. We could probably go for a year at that point with no problems, no questions, and still live a pretty normal life. I could lose my job and we could live off her income. Now, if we both, and the chance of this happening, but it could, but if we both lost our job, we can still go that 6 months and be okay. We could maybe even stretch it to 7, 8 months and still be okay. There's probably a certain point in that where we go, we should probably pack up and get out of here.
If we both lost our job, we'd probably get out of this and we'd downsize to a smaller apartment. We may end up moving closer to home, especially if we both lost our jobs and we would have the flexibility to do that. You could lean off of family members a little bit at that point in time to help with expenses and things like that. The rent in Du Bois, Pennsylvania as well, where we're from, where our family is also like half of what it is here. So it's about having options. That's all this a fully funded emergency fund is about, having options. If we both lost our jobs, what are our options? And it's not just about having money set aside. It's about, well, where would you go? What would you have to downsize? What's your plan of attack for getting another job? We are not professionals.
All right. So some closing thoughts. We are not professionals. She is not even a numbers person.
I don't like handling the finances. He does most of it.
I do most of the finances. I do a lot of it through an app on my phone where I keep track of the balances of all of our accounts and everything. And we talk it over. If any big purchases come up, we talk it over. What's cool about having the emergency fund is that if something went wrong with their car, like the motor blows up tomorrow, or we total it, or I don't know, what other crazy things can you throw out there?
A deer
Hits it, and insurance doesn't really cover it, but in that case they should. And we had to go out and get a new vehicle. We could.
A fairly decent one at that.
But then someone would go, Philip, you can afford a $300-400 payment. Why don't you go pay the $300-400?
Because I don't want to take
That's debt.
10 years. I don't want to take 10 years to pay off the car.
That's debt.
We've never taken 10 years. It took, how much did we finance that car for?
We took and paid off the Toyota. I think we had we'll say $3,000 remaining on the Toyota.
We just paid that off.
We just paid that off. We put another $3,000 down on the Ford, and then we had a $7,000 loan on top of the 5% interest. They didn't want to go or couldn't go any lower on the interest with the credit score I even had at the time. Why, I don't know, but we needed a vehicle, and that's what we ended up doing. And then on top of that, they took another $150 to set it all up and everything, that the next time we go get a vehicle, we got cash. Let's write you a check. Let's get our vehicle.
That's true.
That's not even, to be honest, that's not even what the emergency fund is for. It's not
true.
for me to go get another vehicle because that's what I want.
And I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have. If I have this money, I can do with it what I please. And that's not how you should handle it. That's not smart. Not smart.
Mainly, I think the main reason for an emergency fund is for job loss. That's what it's really for. That way you can survive the next 6 months until you get the next best thing. So we have accomplished that. We have accomplished a lot in our finances. If you watched 2 videos ago, my wife had lost her purse.
Wallet.
My wife had lost her wallet, and one of the reasons why I was personally able to hold myself together at that point was because I knew we had an emergency fund. I knew it wasn't a big deal that $400 or $500 just came up missing. I knew that there was things that we were going to have to take care of and shut down, so that if it was stolen, we were going to have to shut things down.
At that particular moment when I lost my wallet, and we thought we might have had to enact those changes, it was very uncomfortable.
I mean, it's not the end of the world. There might be $400 or $500 that come up missing. Let's get the account shut down. Let's get that taken care of. And I mean, it's a lot of stuff that you don't want to do, but that's what we would have had to do. But thankfully, we were able to recover it, and there's still nice people in the world, and someone didn't take our wallet, and thank you. So real quickly, okay. I'll make the blooper reel so you don't know what just happened.
No, it won't. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, click the like button. If you like the channels, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enable all notifications so that you get notified exactly when we post a new video. So that's really it for us today. We hope you had a good day.
Thank you guys.